Syntax analyzer, otherwise called as the parser, is the second phase of compiler that takes care of syntax checking. So these are the phases that the compiler works on. So given an input which is in the high level language, the lexical analysis will check the validity of individual words and it will give the tokens as the output. These tokens are nothing but the words that are separated from the high level language program based on the validity of the word. Then given these tokens, syntax analysis will try to check the syntax of the statement. So what is the syntax? It is nothing but the construct of how each and every statement should look like. So it depends on the programming language. Let's say English has a different grammatical structure, whereas Hindi has different, and other languages like Tamil has a different, Telugu has different. Likewise, every programming language will follow its own syntax. In C language, if statement has to be written like this, whereas in Python, we don't need to have brackets or this curly brace. Okay, so A less than B followed by colon, you can write. So, depending on whatever structure the particular programming language follow, this syntax analyzer will try to check whether your input program or the statement that you have written in input program follows this strategy. So after that you have semantic intermediate code, code optimization and code generation, which will lead you to machine level language, the details of which can be had from our first video. So moving on to identify what are the different kinds of parsers available. So we understood, having understood the meaning of parsers, what is the meaning? So we need to check whether the given statement is up to the programming language construct or not. So this is programming language construct which will be defined using context free grammar. So you are giving statements in high level language. So this statements needs to be mapped to the corresponding grammar. So we have basically two types of parsers. One is top down parsing, next one is bottom up parsing. Under top down, there are a lot of parsers, but basically we have one of recursive kind. Recursive in the sense, you take a particular production and try to find. For example, if statement, you have simple if and you have if else also. So you need to check whether the given statement in your input program belongs to input simple if or not. So if it doesn't match, then you can go for if else, or in the reverse case in practice. So that is what we call as recursive top-down parsing, where we will be trying to apply the given productions in the CFG recursively to check whether it falls under a particular combination. Then comes non-recursive. So if you go for recursive category, you may end up with lot of difficulties of choosing one after the other. That's why we go for non-recursive, otherwise called as predictive parsing, wherein we will be constructing a parsing table which could be used to check whether the given statement belongs to the given grammar type or not. So this top-down approaches, as the name implies, it will start from the start symbol and try to derive the word which is required over here. So that is top-down parsing. In contrast to that, we have bottom-up. So as the name implies, we'll start with the word, we'll try to reduce it to reach the start symbol. So there again we have two categories. One is shift reduce. So it will apply shift and reduce concept onto the stack. Shift means shifting the next input symbol onto the stack. Reduce means take up the top of the contents in your stack, reduce it to the left side non-terminal. That is shift reduce. And when you have grammar only for with operators, in which case you need to find out what is the precedence and associativity among your operators. That could be given by a special type of shift reduce parser, which is operator precedence parser. Under shift reduce, again we have lot many types. One is simple LR parser. SLR stands for simple LR parser. Second is canonical. So that is CLR parser, which is canonical parser, and third we call it as look ahead. So these are the three different parsers that are available in order to identify whether the given input statement belongs to the programming language or not. So with this simple understanding, let's move on to understand how it happens in real time. So this top-down parsing happens like this. We'll start with the start symbol, try to apply one production at a time. okay, have arriving at various sentential forms in practice, and we'll try to arrive at the word. Okay, let's say if your word is if a less than b colon, which is in Python. Okay, so the start symbol might be yes. So from yes, you apply one production at a time which belongs to context free grammar G, and try to arrive at the word this. Okay, so in between you, so this yes is the start symbol which is purely a non-terminal, and these words is a combination of terminals. In between you may get lot of combinations of terminals and non-terminal, which we call it as sentential forms. So these are the intermediate steps of your top-down parsing. As we have already seen, the most important top-down parsing that is actually in practice is predictive. So apart from that, you have recursive predictive parser and non-recursive predictive parser. So recursive we already have seen. It will apply the productions one at a time and try to find out whether you are able to arrive at a word. In contrast to that, non-recursive will work based on the tables that are constructed from the grammar. Okay, so and these kind of top-down parsers are otherwise called as LL parser. Okay, so the first L stands for, so the first L, so we have two L actually. This first L stands for left to right scanning of input word. Let's say you have an input word like a less than b colon, which is stored in an input buffer. You assume like this. So every cell of your RAM memory is able to store one character, and there is no point in reading from right to left, right? Because the length doesn't matter. It may go long till how many ever is able to get stored on a particular line. So always in all the program language compiler or interpreter, in general translator, the parsing or the scanning will move from left to right. That's what the first L means. And the second L stands for leftmost derivation in reverse. So you don't need to assume it in reverse. So leftmost derivation, because so you have your top down parsing, we know it starts with start symbol and is going to arrive at the word. So every time there are three different possibilities of arriving at that. One is leftmost derivation, second is rightmost derivation, and third is reduction. This is the concept that is applied in all top down parsers are leftmost derivation, that is indicated by that. And moving on to a clear understanding on bottom-up parsing, again the same flow. We will start with the word which is made of only terminal symbols and select subset of the word and try to reduce it. Okay, so while reducing you will end up with different sentential form which are combination of terminals as well as non-terminals. Finally, everything has to be reduced into a start symbol, which is nothing but a non-terminal. So this is bottom-up parsing in contrast to your top-down parsing. There are two we saw. One is operator precedence and shift reduce. The shift reduce plays a major role over here, and there are three basic types: simple LR, canonical, and look ahead, which varies in the number of look ahead characters. Simple, we want to see what is coming next on your input stream. Okay, for example, I'll tell you a simple example. You have A less than B, okay, as one set of statements. This is statement 1, you assume. Again, if you have statement 2, if A less than B, something could be written, else something could be written. Okay, in which case if you take, if else is followed after the sequence of statements of if true statement, okay, so it together should be reduced to if statement, that is your statement. But if the system tries to see only this, it also get mapped with your simple if statement. If you reduce it to yes, automatically what happened? The rest of the things cannot be reduced. So that's where what we call as simple LR and canonical LR. Simple LR won't try to look at the next input which is coming, and hence will reduce whatever is already available on the top of the stack. And in order to reduce that limitation, we go for canonical, wherein we will try to find out what is coming next on the input stream. Okay, so in order to reduce the space and time required for canonical LR parsers, we go for look ahead LR parser. So that is about the various parsers that are available. In the subsequent sessions, we will try to understand in detail about each of these parsers. Thank you.